What is up, everybody? Escape211 here. We are on the test server looking at the Overdriver 8. Now, sorry about my footage for this one. I actually had a couple different matches I was going to use. One actually was with Shadow, maxed out just to test it for fun. But that footage didn't work. I'm actually using this on BlueStacks and just like talking about it after the fact. Just because I've been having issues with it running on Plarium Play for whatever reason. My Shadow footage, I don't know what happened to it. I think it got corrupted or something. But I did want to at least show this because this is more of like kind of simulating dual 12s to give you an idea of how that will feel. Just because, you know, as we know with this weapon, it is probably generally considered a little bit below the miniguns and grav beams in terms of its overall effectiveness when you think of it like for endgame and all that kind of stuff. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it is bad. It is still a decent weapon, but it's not going to be great. And there are certain things that are unique about this weapon, like the idea that it only needs one implant, sadly only coming in legendary variant, but just the damage implant is really all you need. So it can open up for different kinds of builds if you want to have a build that's more focused on the mech like ability and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of limit the way this function or this weapon will go for certain people, and probably means it will only be useful to those that end up getting like buying or somehow getting lucky in getting that legendary damage implant. But when you think of this comparatively to like dual 12s in terms of killing power, it does handle small and medium-sized targets fine. Bigger targets it's not going to be able to get right away, but the nature of this being able to kind of reload almost like on the fly, as long as you're not overheating it like I just did with one of them, it will still then function well. So it is a decently viable weapon in the mix. And I think it has good potential, but yeah, it is a bit limiting for maximizing it with the right stuff. I do think even without the damage implant, you can still, you know, play and enjoy with this one, especially if, you know, you happen to buy it earlier, like the 8 or something like that, running it dual and then using it with just like a rare or epic pilot where you're focusing more on like, you know, maybe a cooldown duration or a damage or a duration, you know, implant or something like that, like a general one, or a mech specific one, because, you know, not having the damage one for this will limit what the actual weapon implants could be for it. But, you know, the other implants that come for it seem less necessary, but aren't bad either. You could get those as well, especially if you play with it, you know, earlier on or something like that. But yeah, at this stage, late in the game, the 8 is not something that I would overly invest into. And even here with Bastion, which is a pretty meta mech, it's not... I think I die here. I have not been able to generally last like the whole match or as well as I'd like. Not that you have to, but against bots, you know, you'd expect to be able to play pretty well. And then, of course, you know, you'll make even trades or better trade-ups if you were playing in the meta with one of these kind of like setups or weapons. That's always the hope, right? So when you can't, that's unfortunate. Oh, right here, well, you can't tell, but right when I was doing that, it was shooting all of my ammo automatically as soon as I spawned. I didn't even press the fire button, but oh well, that is what it is. It's interesting. But yeah, Viper also is an interesting and janky weapon. But that aside, still not a bad weapon. Like if you were to buy it early on, it could be good or similar or fun to if you bought a minigun 8. Late game, only going to be like realistic if you get that implant still, and still a little bit below the minigun and the grav beam, as we say. But not a bad one. You know, if there's a good deal for it and you like this style of weapon, and a lot of people already have a Cantha, you know, not a bad option to do. But you guys can let me know your thoughts about this weapon below, as always, and we will see you out there on the battlefield.